I'm Danielle Barger with Barger and Batiste Law, and I'm here to answer some questions that routinely come up in my estate planning practice. Now, I specialize in estate planning, trust, and probate law, and my practice is in San Diego, California. I'm licensed here in California as well as Nevada, and I really enjoy helping my clients understand why estate planning is important, help them implement an estate plan, and ensure that when they do pass away, that those wishes are followed. So routinely, I get a number of questions from clients, and one in particular that I get is, if I have a trust, why do I still need a will? So I've explained to my clients how a trust is really important. It'll make sure that assets are passed in an orderly fashion to the people that you want the assets to pass to. It will avoid probate. The trust is a private document, so you've got some privacy. There's a lot of great things about a trust. And so once I've explained to clients that they need a trust and they're ready to put one in place, they end up with their final documents, and what's in there? A will. So why is there a will if you just told me, Danielle, that we need a trust? Well, it's part of a comprehensive plan. So here's how it'll play out. Let's say that I have a single man here in San Diego, and he's got 3 children. He's got a house, a few bank accounts, and maybe a retirement plan. We talk about that trust, and we put the trust in place, and he tells me that he wants his assets to go to 2 of his 3 children. So the trust will specify that child 1 gets 50%, and child 2 gets 50%, and child 3 doesn't get anything. And he's put that in place for his reasons. It's his stuff. He can do with it whatever he wants. And in addition to putting the trust in place, he's done all the things that he needs to do. He has retitled his house into the name of the trust. He has retitled his bank accounts into the name of the trust. He's made sure that the beneficiaries on his retirement accounts are child 1 and child 2 50-50 as he desires. So it's all good. Well, let's say that he then passes away. And when he passes away, maybe there's a refund check that was issued the day that he died and it got mailed to his house. Maybe there's a final paycheck that got mailed to his house. And maybe there's a small bank account that he forgot about. And so he just never got around to retitling it in the name of the trust. Well, that is where the pour-over will comes in. The pour-over will says, hey, if there's anything in my individual name when I die that I do not have a beneficiary designation for, I give it to the trustee of my trust. And so what that pour-over will does is it provides a link to make sure that everything will pass according to your wishes. Now, in this scenario, my client had 3 children. And so if he did not have a pour-over will, then what would happen is his estate, which are those forgotten assets, would pass according to our default rules in California, and his heirs at law are his 3 children. So what you would end up with is a trust that passes his house, the majority of his assets to the 2 children, but the forgotten accounts would go equally among the 3. So the pour-over will is kind of a belt and suspenders approach to make sure that everything gets where we need to get it to. Because as much as clients intend to fully fund their trust, and I really work hard with clients to make sure that they do, unfortunately, there's usually a small asset or 2 that doesn't get into the trust. And so that pour-over will is going to be that link. Now, a pour-over will is also a place where a guardian is named for minor children. So it's another important reason to have them in place if you do have minor children and you need to provide for them as well. But in general, that pour-over will is a link to make sure that everything goes where you want it to go. So next time you're wondering, why do I need that will again? Don't forget, you still need a will. It can be called a will. It can be called a last will and testament. It can be called a pour-over will. It doesn't really matter what the title says. What matters is what it does. And usually it'll say, if there's anything in my individual name that I failed to put in my trust, I give it to the trustee of my trust. So any comprehensive estate plan will include that pour-over will as well. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'll monitor them and I will answer them as I can. Or you can always email me at dbarger, B-A-R-G-E-R, at dbsquaredlaw.com. Kind of hard to spell sometimes, but again, I'm Danielle Barger. My partner, she's Danny Batiste. And since our initials are both DB, we are known as DB Squared Law, and we get your estate planning squared away. Have a great day. Thank you.